So a grown man walks into a child's room. He's not the homeowner of the home. He doesn't even live within the four walls of the home, and yet he makes his way into a child's bedroom. A repairman, there to repair the floors. Some damage, do some work on the flooring. And then goes through a basket and picks up some dirty underwear of a child and puts it up to his face and sniffs it. Usually that's a grown man, grown woman love affair. I don't know if people watching me get in the same sex or whatever you choose to. I have an open mind to put that out there. There's all type of differences out here, so I don't want to forget those people. Yes, exist any people would, but that's different to do that type of thing, because it points into pedophilia, and there's learning and even that, as in look it up, right? But like, subscribe, ID in the Discovery Channel. Yes, ID in the Discovery Channel. The links are provided below. Get that Discovery Go as well as that ID Go app. Discovery Go app as well as that ID Go app. Might want to get those two things combined and make them into one. But yeah, sniffing the panties of little girls, children as a whole. Everybody has secrets or deep-rooted secrets that they keep hidden or don't tell, and then one day it's picked up on surveillance, right? And then a father threatens you that he's going to out you on social media for the world to see that you've done that, to embarrass you and shame you. This story, in fact, was presented, yes, September of 2018. September 19th, to be specific, of 2018. So it's what I like to call a back issue, because to go, instead of going forward, but you go back, is to bring an old piece and make it new again, right? Because other individuals outside of myself haven't heard of it, or maybe you have. You might, in fact, want to leave a comment, let me know if you heard. So a repairman was caught on video bunching up and sniffing the panties of a couple's young daughter in California. The repairman was picked up on the camera, as I stated 2 times already, sniffing the panties as he was supposed to be doing repairs on the home. You don't never know who's in your home when they're doing repairs, so it's best to watch them while they're doing it. The contractor repairman found his way to the little girl's room while he was supposed to be fixing scratch marks on the floor left by a moving company. On the crib is where the camera was mounted on. That's where the actual, instead of it being up in the corner or anything like that. People have all type of surveillance cameras. You just don't know that they're there. It's called Eye Seen Eye. Big Brother is watching. That's just a play on words. It's just a joke with all that sort of thing. Whether you take it serious or not, that's just a play on words is all I'm trying to say. But people do, in fact, be having cameras around their home. You just don't know that they're there. You just can't see them, because a lot of times they're hidden, as in they're on the lurk and the rest with that sort of thing, right? So, but this one was mounted to a crib, and that's how and where the repairman was caught on camera. Yes, going through a hamper which contained the kids' undergarments. That is when he found the garments and took them as his own. Yes, because he was captured stashing a pair of the little girl's panties in his pocket. That's why I say that. So the father, homeowner, Jason Cooper, to the kids was disgusted over such behavior and considered the repairman's actions lewd and conduct. And of course, a police, yes, that sort of thing. You're filing something against an individual that needs to, because somebody like that might have want to come back and might have want to come back. That don't even go together, and it's not proper wording. It don't fit, right? But an individual like that just remind me on some JonBenet Ramsey. That points right in, doesn't it, viewer? Leave me a comment. What I just said. This points in with like JonBenet Ramsey, because if an individual can take it so far to not know that a camera is in the room just enough to sniff some little girl's panties, is to say he might want to make his way back into the home and possibly take that little girl And usually men like that, when they get a little girl like that and have sex, they got to get rid of her, and more than likely they will have to kill her, get rid of her in that way, off her, and throw her body somewhere in the ditch, because to not take her back home is to say, well, what to do with her? Pedophilia, or yes, raping children, grown men that do things. All grown men is not like that. Just yes, pedophiles that do stuff like that. That type of that seems suspicious. I'm saying the odd way that I'm able to see his odd behavior. Me looking at the individual, though he's not here, what could possibly have happened, and more than likely would have happened, of him returning back, getting that young girl, making it creeping either through a window or something, back door or something like that, getting into that home, getting that little girl. Because remember, I won't say the stench, and yet the panties that he was sniffing of the little girl were in fact dirty panties and not clean. So her residue was there. That's like a canine dog or something, right? Wanting to search out and make its way back, and yet for the third or fourth time, what do you do if you do come back? Get a little girl after you done break into her house quietly. Some people break in people's house and put their hands over the child's mouth and creep out into the night air, and nobody knows that she's gone. Now she's missing, right? And somebody that was yes, a pedophile done took her. But once again, you have to, I'm thinking, find out what you're gonna do with the little girl once you're done raping her or something. That's how young children once again end up dead. Cause ain't no grown man gonna take no time to rape no little girl in a scenario what I said, and then take her back home and drop her off at the doorstep, or drop her off at the back door where he took crap or yeah, left out of, or take her back to the window or something like that where he snuck out with her in his arms or something. He ain't gonna take the time to do that. He just gonna offer, get rid of her. So that's the end of that. Once again, the father, Jason Cooper, homeowner, stated he told the repairman, as I stated before in the opening, he told that repairman he was going to show the repairman's lewd actions on social media for everybody to see. He told him that to his face, because I'm thinking, and I can guess and believe, to that father that was embarrassing. You don't know how he even feels today. He probably gonna be more than likely real overprotective of her. And that's gonna possibly open his eyes to the fact that pedophilia is in fact out here. Some people live a closed mind where they see it, but if it don't happen to them, they fail to pay attention. But then when it happens to them, then their eyes are more open. Maybe his eyes needed to be open. That's not to say he needed the situation, the mother or the father, but sometimes situations are there to teach you something, and what you fail to pay attention to, because so many of us fail to pay attention to stuff, myself as well, where we have to be made aware, despite that being their home. I'm saying, because sometimes people in public be out with their kids and they don't even watch their kids, even in Walmart. I've seen grown men leave their 1 and 2 year old babies in a buggy at Walmart and just be walking off and walking here, and the cart is all the way down there. And I'm like, man, they looking for a kidnap case to reveal itself or something. I don't know. So that's what I'm trying to say, is odd situations will in fact make their way in your life to teach you something for a greater purpose, so you can come learn, know, and understand of what to do and what not to do. And sometimes the situations come in ways that you don't want it to come in, oftentimes in your own house, so that you can know to lock the door. Trust and believe. If these individuals wasn't known for locking the door and stuff like that, you don't know. Life lessons come to you in various types of ways. That's why they call them life lessons. That just had to be said, so you can be aware of your surroundings, and not only that, making sure that you be on the lookout, or even your own home, securing it. They might not even have had a home alarm. So we're on investigationdiscovery.com. ID, the logo sits up in the far left. Live now. The 1990s, the deadliest decade. That's what's on live now. Evil lives here. You can click watch now to watch that. 7 days of streaming every episode. Unlocked episodes. To gain and access a audio visual preview is in fact click the play button. Title is here. Description is here. You can add to watch later by clicking the plus sign. To scroll through each one of these is in fact receive a preview as you're doing it. Shattered Season 2 Episode 9. Shouts out to Lieutenant Joe Kenda as well as Paula. Body Cam. There you go. Season 1 Episode 9. Very good one. On last night, Deadliest Deception, Season 1, Episode 3. To gain, this right here is in fact padlocked down. It's exclusive. The only way you're going to gain access to that is by providing who you're subscribed with. That's going to have to be presented to gain access on the other side of this key to get through. That's what it stands for. 7 days of streaming unlocked series. The design had changed for a little bit because we're on Sunday. When I said in my other video, the whole everything, how you rework something, it's always best to do that sort of thing. Yes, more so on the weekends, and yet people oftentimes come on this type of stuff, but not always, depending on the time frame, because even people be at Walmart themselves on the weekends. It helps when you're changing logos and not logos, I'm sorry, well that too, but when you're helping to design logos, you will more than likely want to change on a weekday, because even that's eye-catching. I'm saying eye-catching. But when you change stuff like this, it's more so better to do it on the weekends when you're changing layouts to business formats and all that. Because to come on something and say, well, it's not there, just like I did in my last video, right? There's maintenance and upkeeping and changing stuff around. The average consumer ain't going to understand that. They're going to wonder, well, why is this gone and why is that? And they're going to be put off and pushed away. It might not come back if stuff changed too much. And yes, ways with even that, doing stuff on the weekend. Recommended for you. You can scroll through each one of these. But I hope you caught what I said when I said a logo. When you change a logo, when you change a layout, I think it's best to change a layout like on the weekend. Especially if it's got too much or you're taking too much out or something like that, right? I just think differently. And yet for a logo, to change a logo is to do it on a weekday or something and add it there because it's eye-catching. And yet this sort of thing is different. Some people get off-put by this more so than they would seeing a logo, because they know logo represent a brand. They're not gonna watch and look at a logo like it's a movie. That's a representation of a business entity. The logo. Stock market and stock prices and all the rest go in and entails with that, right? Nobody's sitting watching no logo like it's a TV screen, and yet to be changing all this too much all throughout the week instead of weekend when ain't nobody around, right? Changes, people get mad and upset about stuff like that because they don't know what to make of it. They don't know what comes next with that either. Helps to be consistent too. I'm sorry I got off topic. In the consistency department. So Crime Feed news. To gain access to the Crime Feed news is a click within here. You're going to be directed to the outside. Yes, once you click here, it's going to direct you outside to crimefeed.com. Latest, greatest, and breaking tragedy is what I said in my last video. Not the latest, greatest, and breaking news, no. It's tragedy of all kind. You got Florida news, all the crazy news with that sort of thing. To receive a newsletter is in fact type your email address in and click next, and you will receive that as it will be on the way. That's what it's created for you, the viewer, knowing what you like and want to see, because there's taste buds even in that. Where eyes meet murder. women is the highest, strongest demographic, yes, target audience when it comes to investigation discovery. I myself would know that sort of thing. That's marketing. Who's watching what and why? What is the reason and perspective of these individuals? Ladies, not always ladylike, all type of ladies of all kinds, of all races, nationalities, preferences, all geographic, all across the globe. What do you like to watch and why? It helps to know, as in it is good and beneficial with that sort of thing. You don't need all seeing eye to be involved with that, knowing what the consumers, public, want to watch, because that helps with better choices, is what I'm trying to say. So leave me a comment. You can even leave me a comment about that, what you like about investigation discovery, or even if you don't like it at all. Sometimes I know I'm known to go off, and I am eating peanuts. I'm saying I'm going off. I'm about to in the mouth with that, but not scream and holler, right? There's people that in fact don't like investigation discovery, and there's people that don't like there's people that don't like Discovery Channel and yet they like investigation discovery. There's people that don't like investigation discovery and yet they like Discovery Channel. When I said taste buds, and saying why I don't like Discovery Channel because it's too bland or too dry. You might in fact want to let corporate, yes, know what that's sort of thing. It helps to keep an open mind even in saying, right? Because I say, well, no, that needs to be, because to do stuff with teens is to say, teams, it's to say, well, you know, that's not going to work because that ain't going to work. And I myself, I don't really like to be told what to do. But when it comes to corporate type of stuff, you have no choice but to change it, because remember, it's not about me. It's about the caring for the viewer, right? Discovery as a whole. Outside of YouTube and all the rest, right? This is my channel, right? And so, but the B with Discovery is to say, well, you got to make the choices and selections based upon personal preference of the viewer. And push myself to the side. It just has to be done, right? And I think in life and consumers, they don't do that enough. See, the only thing I don't like about being on YouTube is sometimes consumers take it too far, because even this is a market as well as buyer meets seller and supplies, right? Supply and demand being on YouTube, right? You're selling a product, right? And what I don't like is the trolls. Sometimes they take it too far, where I don't consider them buyers. They are in fact losers. They add nothing but to walk around trolling people. Where even they need to in fact build a YouTube or do something, work for Discovery or something, and do something useful to help build up society and humanity as a whole. Who don't know that sort of thing? That's why I'm known and prone to go off when people leave a comment, because I can't see and not know. Well, sometimes I can figure out who's who, right? Even if it's a fake account. Could be a family member you don't know, blood relative watching you, right? People do all type of stuff, but I don't really like when, people troll you and they ain't got nothing good to offer, like saying, well, you know, I don't like this because of this, or I don't like that because of that. And they say it in a way that it needs to be possibly upkept or changed or something like that. It's a right or wrong way to try to have somebody change stuff, is what I'm trying to say, right? And so I've dealt with so many trolls here in life. That's why sometimes when I get on this camera, I don't know how to deal with people. Yes, on the outside isn't watching me when I've been known to go off. Because to know that you're on here and there's all type of trolls and they just come up out and fly and swarm like bees or sucker flies or something, is to say I'm gonna have to swat them 2 or 3 times or possibly 10 times, because I don't know their intention. That's what I'm trying. When Oprah Winfrey says state your intention, I don't know their intention. Maybe they're a troll because they're a loser in life and they don't know what to do. And yet I am trying to see what people like and what they like to watch. That's why you run a YouTube channel, not to sit babysit and catering to trolls that just coming to troll you and then walk away. Nobody has time for that type of thing, and yet they're out here. But I'll just focus on what I'm doing right here. So yeah, just leave me a comment. Tell me what you feel about this sniffing children's panties. I don't know, that sort of thing. I would have to study much more further to understand that mindset and mind frame with even child pedophilia, where it goes deeper than that. Some learning is in fact surface, where you learn just the basic foundations, and yet even learning is advanced even in the realm of child pedophilia, where it meets the law. So I think that's all to be said for now. I'm going to sign off. Are you enjoy your day? I will enjoy mine. I'm gone.